Every society tells a story. At EconSight Lab, we uncover the ideas, incentives, and institutions that shape our world through morals, money, and the market. Something strange happens when societies become more successful. The safer life becomes, the fewer children people have. Not immediately, not all at once. But almost everywhere prosperity rises, birth rates fall. South Korea, Japan, Italy, China, Germany, even parts of Latin America. Different cultures, different histories, different political systems. Same pattern, fewer babies. And the strangest part is, this was supposed to happen in reverse. Because when life gets better, when people become wealthier, healthier, safer, you'd expect larger families. After all, throughout most of history, hardship reduced population growth, not prosperity. But modern society flipped the pattern upside down. Today, the richest countries on earth are having the fewest children, and some are now below the level needed to sustain their populations. Which raises a deeper question. If humans spent thousands of years struggling to survive, why are successful societies now struggling to reproduce themselves? Because this story is not really about children. It's about what modern life quietly became. In 1960, the average South Korean woman had around 6 children. Today, the number is below 1. That is one of the fastest fertility collapses ever recorded. Japan has spent decades struggling with aging and population decline. China, after years of explosive economic growth, is now facing the same problem. Across Europe, birth rates remain below replacement level. Entire populations are beginning to age upward. More retirees, fewer workers, fewer children every generation. In some places, there are now more funerals than births. And this matters because populations do not collapse dramatically at first. At first, societies look normal. The trains still run, the cities still function, the economy still grows. But slowly, the age structure changes. There are fewer young workers, more retirees, more pressure on healthcare systems, more pressure on pensions. Entire schools begin closing because there are not enough children to fill classrooms anymore. And once fertility falls very low, recovering becomes incredibly difficult. Because this is not just a temporary trend, it's a deep behavioral shift. At first, none of this feels intuitive, because wealth usually expands human choices. Better food, better healthcare, better homes, better experiences, more freedom. So why would family size shrink? Because children behave differently from almost everything else in economics. For most products, rising wealth increases consumption. But in developed societies, children slowly transform from economic contributors into long-term emotional and financial commitments. And that single transition changed civilization. In poorer agricultural societies, children contributed early. They worked on farms, helped carry water, sold goods, supported the household. More children often meant more economic resilience. But modern economies reversed the equation. Now children require enormous long-term investment. Food, housing, education, childcare, healthcare. Years of emotional attention. In the past, children added labor to the household. Today, They require labor from the household. And modern parenting intensified this even further. In many wealthy societies, parenting no longer feels like simply raising a child. It feels like managing a high-stakes developmental project. Every decision feels consequential. Every mistake feels permanent. Parents feel pressure to optimize everything. The best schools, the best neighborhoods, the best activities, the best future. Childhood itself became professionalized. And once parenting starts feeling that intense, large families stop feeling realistic. But the biggest shift is something less visible. Time became expensive, especially in advanced economies. For most of human history, people did not think of time in terms of lost opportunity. Modern economies changed that. Now every major life decision competes against career progression, income, mobility, status, personal freedom, and self-development. Economists call this opportunity cost. But most people never experience it as a formula. They experience it as postponement, as uncertainty, as the quiet feeling that now is never the right time. They experience it emotionally, as hesitation, as delay, as constantly pushing family one more year into the future, until eventually, maybe later. Because the question modern adults ask is no longer, can we survive with children? It became, what happens to the life we planned if we have them? That question barely existed for most of human history. Now it quietly shapes almost every major life decision. But this raises an even bigger question. If modern life has made family harder, who or what changed the rules? In part 2, we'll uncover the hidden forces that quietly reshaped one of humanity's oldest decisions, and why the success of modern civilization may have created a paradox of its own. If this story made you think, subscribe to EconSight Lab, where we explore the ideas that shape our world through morals, money, and the market. I'll see you in part 2.